Hello, everyone, and welcome to this analysis of the poem. For all of you focused learners out there who love extracting the hidden depths from what seem like totally simple texts, well, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're taking a really deep dive into two classic, culturally rich children's rhymes. On the surface, yeah, they just seem like fun little songs to entertain kids. But, when we look a little closer, we uncover this absolutely fascinating duality. We've got two completely different protagonists experiencing the world in just totally opposite ways. We have the grounded, struggling rat and the skybound, free-spirited parrot. I am so thrilled to walk you through this explainer today.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's analysis. First up, the rat's medical journey. Second, escalating doctor visits. Third, enter the green parrot. Fourth, life of an artist. And finally, number 5, contrasting the two animals.
So starting off with section 1, the rat's medical journey, a week of illness. Meet our first protagonist, the sick rat. Now, let me tell you, this isn't just some simple little story about catching a bug. No way. This is a high-stakes medical drama literally disguised as a nursery rhyme. We can track the incredibly grueling week our little rat friend has to endure. It starts on Tuesday, when the fever begins. Then Wednesday hits, and the fever continues. By Thursday, the fever persists. And by Friday, things have completely escalated to a full-on medical checkup. This relentless repetition, day after day of fever, actually traps the rat in this cycle of illness. And honestly, it serves as a really powerful, if maybe a little stressful, mnemonic device for teaching kids the days of the week. Which brings us to, ooey. I know it's intense. When the rat goes to the doctor on Tuesday and gets that very first injection, this high-energy onomatopoeia is the exact sound it makes. It is a sharp, totally visceral squeak of pure shock and pain. And what it does is immediately ground us, the listener, right in the physical reality of the rat's struggle. This isn't abstract. It's a very real, very sharp needle. Moving right along to section 2, escalating doctor visits, actions, and reactions. And this brilliantly illustrates how the narrative builds its structure. It sets up a totally rhythmic cycle of specific medical actions and the rat's corresponding emotional reactions. Look at this direct cause and effect mapping out the poor rat's emotional journey. Tuesday gives us the shock of the injection. Whee! Then on Wednesday, the doctor gives medicine, which surprisingly gets this relieved or maybe just completely overwhelmed wah, wah, wah from the rat. Thursday, unfortunately, goes right back to that dreaded injection. But Friday is the absolute climax. The doctor performs a comprehensive checkup, a complete coupe janche, and the rat's reaction shifts completely. Ma, right? By Friday, the rat is no longer just reacting to a needle. The sheer exhaustion of this entire week-long medical ordeal completely breaks its spirit, and it literally just cries out for its mother. This is the ultimate emotional climax of the rhyme. It's such a universal plea for comfort after enduring a highly structured, almost clinical week of absolute hardship. Now let's switch gears with section 3. Enter the green parrot, the free spirit. Let's move to and see how this builds our completely opposite narrative. Here, our source material takes a massive, sharp pivot. We are leaving the claustrophobic, stressful world of the sick rat and stepping right out into the bright, open air to meet the ultimate free spirit. Look at these attributes. We're immediately hit with vibrant colors, a bright green body, and a striking red beak. Instead of being confined to a doctor's office, it flies high in the vast blue sky. Instead of swallowing bitter medicine, it's feasting on fresh fruits, vegetables, and grains. And instead of wincing in pain, it moves with a super confident strut. This parrot is absolutely the ultimate foil to our grounded, sickly rat. Mitu, mitu. This right here is the parrot's signature sound. Just compare this incredibly joyful, rhythmic, almost musical vocalization to the rat's sad cries of pain and exhaustion. Mitu mitu is a total celebration of identity. The parrot is essentially announcing its presence to the world, creating this bouncy, repetitive auditory hook that is entirely rooted in joy and pure self-expression. Which brings us to section 4, life of an artist, more than just a bird. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the fascinating revelation that this parrot is highly, highly self-aware. It specifically describes itself as a kalaker, an artist, or a creative performer. Think about that for a second. This gives the character an incredibly elevated sense of ego and purpose. It's not just some random bird flying around eating fruits. It actively seeks out the gaze of an audience. It literally revels in capturing the attention of everyone watching. Just look at the phrasing here. The text translates to, I walk with a strut, but the original phrasing, tumak tumak kar chalta hu, perfectly encapsulates this deliberate, totally rhythmic swagger of a performer on a stage. This isn't just regular movement or locomotion, guys. This is choreography. The parrot's strutting walk completely reinforces its identity as the supremely confident artist who just commands the space and demands the admiration of literally everyone around it. And finally, section 5, contrasting the two animals, pedagogical duality. So the crucial point is, what actually happens when we place these two seemingly separate rhymes side by side? Well, we see how perfectly these two characters balance each other as teaching tools. On side A, we have the sick rat. Its world is grounded, confined, and it's enduring real medical hardship. But through this struggle, it teaches structure, specifically the days of the week. Then on side B, we have the green parrot. Its world is the vast open blue sky. It thrives on fresh food and just brims with the confidence of an artist. And through all that joy, it teaches vocabulary related to colors and nature. Together, they brilliantly represent two fundamental ways we as humans learn, through structured routine and through joyous creative exploration.
And that brings us to the end of our analysis. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought. Both of these characters offer such distinct ways to view the world, one through a dramatic, highly structured journey of resilience, and the other through a colorful, strutting display of self-confidence and artistry. So, which animal's story truly captures your attention? Are you more captivated by the grit of the rat or the flair of the parrot? Keep that in mind next time you encounter a simple story, because as we've seen today, there's almost always a deeper structure just waiting to be explored. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.